December 13th is when she visits. Santa Lucia, Virgin Martyr of Syracuse, bearer of light and collector of sacrifice. They tell children she brings saffron buns and coffee on the darkest of mornings, but I've seen what really fills her silver plates. Offerings far older than bread. The workshop always knows when she approaches. Candles light themselves in reverse, flames reaching downward like roots searching for deeper darkness. The elves don their white robes and red sashes, not in celebration but in desperate mimicry. There's safety, they believe, in becoming part of her procession rather than its prey. You see, Lucia didn't just carry light to Christians hiding in the catacombs. She harvested it from them. Each candle in her crown burns with the light of martyred faith, the gleam in a tortured saint's eyes just before surrender, the spark of devotion that turns suffering into ecstasy, the radiance of those who chose blindness over temporal beauty. She collects these lights still, preparing for what she calls the eternal Mass. That morning, she arrived as always, wearing her crown of sacrificial flames. The silver plate in her hands held her own eyes, still fresh as the day she plucked them out, still seeing everything they shouldn't. Our electric lights sputtered into stigmata of sparks as she passed. 3 elves made the mistake of accepting her communion. We found them later in the cathedral grotto, their eyes replaced with burning candles, endlessly reciting medieval penitential rites. "The darkness of sin grows deeper," she told me, her voice carrying the echoes of ancient cathedral bells. "We must preserve every spark of grace, every glimmer of faith." She smiled then, her empty sockets weeping molten wax. "Your workshop serves the greater glory, though you may not yet understand how." That's when I noticed the list responding to her presence. The names began to illuminate like pages from an illuminated manuscript, each good deed blazing with golden light. She saw it too, and her smile reminded me of gargoyles watching sinners from cathedral heights. Her procession grows longer each year. The children who follow her, dressed in white robes stained with candle wax, aren't really children anymore. They're more like living relics, each one preserving a different aspect of sacrifice. Some bear the marks of ancient tortures, their halos burning with the light of their final moments of faith. They sing plainchant in harmonies that sound like cathedral stones weeping. Mrs. Claus says they're collecting something with their songs, something that builds in intensity as December darkness deepens. I've seen how the list trembles when they reach certain notes, how names shine brighter or fade to ash depending on the hymn. This year, she seemed especially interested in our workshop's cathedral section, where we craft religious artifacts for the faithful. "Such pure potential for devotion," she whispered, touching a shelf of rosaries. The beads began to glow like burning tears. 3 complete sets vanished, transformed into new candles for her crown. "For the coming tribulation," she explained, though she never clarifies what trial awaits us. I should close now. The list has started showing signs of stigmata, bleeding golden ink in patterns that match ancient sanctuary markers. The elves have begun their protective rituals, hanging dried herbs in the shape of cathedral crosses, placing salt in the pattern of church foundations, and reciting the names of martyrs backwards to avoid attracting their attention. Just remember, when you light your Lucia candles, when you celebrate with saffron buns and songs, you're not simply honoring a saint. You're feeding something older that wears her face, something that learned long ago that faith burns brightest in darkness. And if you hear cathedral bells on December 13th that sound like they're ringing from inside your own head, don't open your eyes. Some forms of devotion are best left unwitnessed,